Chaplain Captain Will Cornell, 2nd of 300th Field Artillery Regiment, on my way to go have a conversation with our behavioral health officer, Colonel Stacy Nation. Going to talk some reintegration today.
Hey friends, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Stacy Nation. I'm the behavioral health officer who's been embedded with the 300th Field Artillery Battalion for the last several months. I've had the opportunity to chat with almost every single soldier in our formation. Well, hey Chaplain.
Hey ma'am.
I'm excited to chat about our reintegration video today.
I have been looking forward to this, reaching out to our families. Since you first talked about the idea, I thought this is a win.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to just sharing some lessons learned and a few principles about how to get home well.
Yeah, we've had a good time over here with these folks, haven't we?
Right, we've had opportunity to spend time with your loved ones, and it's been a tremendous privilege. We had occasion already, I think, to meet 4 times with different batteries and companies, and we've had some lessons learned, and we want to talk to you a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that's unique about my situation is I am also a military spouse. So about 5 years ago, I was sitting on that side of the camera, waiting for my husband to come home and having to do reintegration there. And so I came here and I said I understood about 3 things within the first 5 days that I didn't understand before. One was why my husband drinks so many drink packets in his water. There's a lot of water over here. 2, I now understand why he wears the same clothes over and over. Because we don't wear them very long, because we're in these all day long. And 3, I understand why he lays everything, like all his clothes everywhere, because there's no hooks, there's no hangers, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so we just want to chat with you a little bit about what we talk to soldiers about going home. We understand that being a family, you've had the bigger lift, honestly.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's talk reality versus expectations, Chaplain.
For sure, for sure. So the biggest thing that comes to mind for me really is we've got a maxim in the U.S. Army, and that maxim is slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah.
I think for too many of our folks, they want to get back home and reintegrate into such a way that we're back to where we were before I left, and that's simply just not going to happen quickly.
We've had friends of ours, one of our teams that's coming out from one of the outstations, and I chatted with them yesterday, and just being at this location has been a change. Way more people, faster pace, and I'm thinking about how our people here are going to have that same experience when we go back home, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so it's not going to be uncommon for them to not want to, they're not going to want to go to crowded places right away.
That's right.
We haven't been driving or in vehicles very much this entire time, so that's also going to be something that will be a super normal thing. They'll get there. They'll get there. Be patient with them.
Well, I was just actually thinking through, one of the first things I shared when we got here is I looked at the number of weeks that we were going to be in theater. Basically from the time we went from Title 10, it was July 29th, until now is 40 weeks, and that's actually a human gestation period. So we're new human beings right now. So your loved one is not the same human being that you left, and you're not the same human being that they left. And one of the things that we encounter that changes us while we're here is we're really spun up. And I like to use this analogy of the little cars that you have the gears in them, and you rev them up, and that's where your soldier is right now. They're pretty revved up, and going home, that rev doesn't go away so quickly. There's some inertia behind that, and we found over and over again, and we sat down with a lot of our leaders who have been deployed multiple times, and they've said, hey, a lot of times on my previous deployments, it took me up to a year to get back to where I was in step and in speed with my loved ones back home.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know you all are keeping things together at home. You're paying the bills, you're taking care of the appliances breaking, you're taking care of the kids. Some of you might be empty nesters because your kids are here with us and they're out on their own for the first time as adults. And so we know it's going to take a minute. And one of the things we really want to encourage is very clear communication. Don't make assumptions. ask questions, check in with each other. Some of our soldiers want to come home and they want a big party at the airport or the homecoming. Some people don't want to see people for the first week they're there.
That's right.
Both are right. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. The biggest piece is clear communication. If you're wondering something, ask them. We've told our soldiers the same thing. We told our soldiers, don't get mad at your family back home. If you're not communicating what you need, they don't know.
That's right.
And so we just we're gonna foot stomp that, to use Chaplain's words, and really emphasize the importance of that clear communication.
That's right. And one of the things that I talked to Colonel Nation about earlier was just this concept of sitting down and having a conversation. So often we can say, oh yeah, we talked about that, but guess what? You were in the kitchen and I was in the living room.
Yep.
Let's actually sit down, take a moment to look into one another's eyes and have that conversation, square up, and let's talk about roles and responsibilities. Some of the things that I used to take on all the time, maybe I've gotten used to at home taking care of those things on my own, and we can shift, but we need to reestablish those things, have that clear line of communication of expectations.
Yeah, and keep in mind, a lot of our soldiers haven't cooked at all this whole deployment, which has been great for me. You know, I love that.
That's right.
But they haven't cooked, right? They haven't even been in a kitchen. They've been at the dining facility 3 meals a day. It's going to take them a little bit of time to figure out what the new norm is.
New normal.
The other piece we're really thinking a lot about are sleep issues. You're going to have some soldiers that are coming home, some of your family, loved ones. First, they're going to have jet lag. Mm-hmm. It's all going to take us a minute to reacclimate to the time frame. And second of all, you know, we've been talking 60 to 70% of our formation have had sleep issues the entire time they've been here. So some of our friends have been sleeping in bays of 40 people and they're ready to be home, but it's going to be awkward and strange and weird, and it's important to just remember those pieces. Be patient. Be patient with those things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another thing that your soldiers have gotten used to here is a different level of structure. So our battalion commander really challenged us all when we got here on ground to set goals for ourselves, and for some people that's normal battle rhythm. That's normally what they do. For others, that's new and kind of exciting, and that's something that we like to encourage that you carry on back home. But they're going to feel like I need to set a goal and have something. A purpose and a mission for when I get back home. We become mission oriented. A lot of your soldiers have done 50Ks and 5Ks and half marathons.
Working out 1 or 2 times a day.
Yeah, working out once or twice a day. And so they've grown accustomed to kind of a personal mission statement. And we think that that's a healthy thing if we're coming home, that new human being, to encourage that going forward. Getting down as a couple or a family or with your family just to talk about what are our goals now going forward, but make sure that those are realistic goals and give yourself some grace to fail and come back and reassess.
Yeah, and we want to normalize a lot of the feelings you're going to have. You may feel disconnected from your soldier when you get home. It's going to take a minute. I know some of us are hug deprived. We're touch deprived, and it's going to take a minute to get reacquainted. You might have some curiosity about what they did over here, what their days were like. Give it some time. I tell people your first conversation should be the start of a long conversation, over several days, weeks, months to get reacclimated. You're not going to get everything out in 1 minute of time, and so you know those feelings that both of you are having are going to be pretty normal, and it's just going to take a little bit of time to work through those. Get the bumps out, get reacquainted. They're excited to come home. It's also going to be weird for them.
Again, then, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So we're rebuilding these relationships gradually, and that's okay. If it takes a year, it takes a year.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about family dynamics. Some of you have been parenting a lot on your own, and you're going to have people come home and have to sink back into that co-parenting piece.
Right.
And so we're encouraging you to really have a conversation about that, maybe a code word, maybe a system that says, hey, you need to take a little pause. Some of you are parenting adult children and they've been doing their thing for the last year, and they may not remember what it's like to live with parents.
That's right.
And so, you know, sit down, have a conversation about expectations, those clear boundaries, all those things, so it's a little less bumpy.
Especially being reestablished as an authority figure for parents and children, that can be a tough one to navigate. There's not 100% right answer as to exactly how that looks, but that easing back in is typically the right answer there. So reestablishing those roles and responsibilities, and that's even in the area of finances as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Friends, we haven't had many places to go shopping or many things to do around here, and some of you may have been taking on the whole picture of finances while you've been gone. So give yourself a little time, space, clear communication, I think we've said that a few times, to work through how you're going to handle that.
That's right. So as your loved ones get back home, one of the things you can do to meter your success, if you want to meter your success, is celebrate some of those little wins. You're going to have your first time back to a family picnic, a family outing. Maybe it's your first vacation since you've been back home. Your first time back to church, or your first time at a school function. Celebrate those little wins and notice how you're gradually getting reintegrated.
Yeah, and as you're celebrating those wins, we want to talk through a couple of the risk factors that we've been really, really upfront with our soldiers about. So one, we want to talk about alcohol. A lot of our friends are excited to come home and have some cocktails.
That's right.
Which is okay and it's normal, but we've challenged our soldiers to really be cognizant of the frame of mind in which they're drinking. And we want to make sure that's true for our families too. You know, I tell people all the time, if someone in your family thinks you have an alcohol problem, you probably have an alcohol problem. But we want to be really clear about that piece. We also want to be really clear about guns and access to lethal means. Our number one goal across battalion is to come home and prevent suicide completions.
That's right.
And so we want you as family members to know that we have support, we have systems, we have teams, we have people available. If you're worried about your soldier, reach out and let us know. Multiple people, including your soldiers, have our contact information, both mine and Chaplain Cornell's. We have a whole team that's ready to support that. So if you have questions, if you're wondering about concerns, risk factors, those kinds of things, we're here for you, the family members also. We want to support that.
That's right. And so one of the things that over time, you know, we serve in a military that's been deployed in an ongoing fashion. So we've been deployed for a long time as a force, and so we've been able to have some lessons learned. We found that through the VA that statistically 20% of us are going to struggle with either depression or anxiety coming home, or post-traumatic stress, and those numbers are probably an underrepresentation. So really keeping in contact with those that can provide help, incredibly important. We're going to have those resources for you to reach out to. And then I would also say, stay in touch with the battle buddies that they were engaged with. Give your loved ones room to connect with battle buddies that they've spent literally the last 40 weeks with, and because they've built those relationships, and it's important to maintain those relationships that really could turn into lifelong friendships.
Yeah, one of the things that happened to me when my husband deployed last time, that I'm on the other side of this time, is I had spouses that I hung out with the entire deployment. And when our spouses came home from deployment, we got to meet all the people they had been hanging out with. And now this summer, one of the things I'm looking forward to is seeing all the babies that were born from all those people on that deployment. And I think for you at home, you've had your own journey, and it's just as important for you to share with your loved ones your journey, what you've been through, what you're going through, and for them to meet the people who've been supporting you too. So we always say that Army is family. And we've created a family that is very different than what you get in the civilian world. And I would encourage you all to really get curious about the people your soldiers have been hanging out with, and create a bigger family.
That's right.
Yeah. Anything else we should add?
Well, we have the Yellow Ribbon event that'll be coming, and so if you're not a part of that, become a part of that. So that really helps reintegration along.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as we stated previously, we're here for you. We've had conversations with almost every single soldier in our formation. They know us. We've been honored to serve with them, and we really appreciate everything you've done back home to keep things stable so that they can do their jobs.
All right. And from my foxhole, ma'am, one of the things that we're looking forward to as a chaplain corps in order to support reintegration is, Lord willing, in the months to come, to have what used to be known as a Strong Bonds event for you married soldiers out there to take that on a couple months after our Yellow Ribbon reintegration.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you know, Lieutenant Colonel Nation.
Chaplain Cornell.
And we're here to support your family reintegrating. Reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah, God bless. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your time.